What is up, everybody? I'm No Lex Given here with your afternoon snap, and recently I've switched back to playing a Null Galactus deck, but I've taken some of the things that I learned while playing Destroyer Galactus and added them to this list as well. And with it, I was able to hit Infinite this season. Really, it's the power of Shang-Chi. I thought Shang-Chi was really good, especially against the Shuri decks and the Thanos decks, which were absolutely everywhere while I climbed to Infinite this season. I got Infinite probably about 2 weeks ago or so by the time this video goes live, but I wanted to just showcase the power of Shang-Chi plus Spider-Man with this game, which when combined together really give no counterplay for your opponent, and you'll see why. I dropped Galactus this turn into the Vibranium Mines, and my opponent still gonna go for the same play, Shuri into Camp Lehigh, which will get blown up by Galactus. But now my opponent is in kind of a tricky spot, kind of an okay spot. At the same time, we are going to get the game crash, by the way, after that Galactus animation. You can actually see exactly when I was playing this game, right when Master Mold came out. So this turn, my opponent has two options. They can either not play their card to play around Shang-Chi, but then we Spider-Man them and they won't be able to play it on the final turn. Or they can play their card this turn and play a huge Red Skull, which is what they're going to wind up doing, but that just leaves them open to Shang-Chi, and then they still won't be able to follow that up next turn with like a Taskmaster or an Armor or a Cosmo. So it really does not leave any room for counterplay when you combine both of these elements, and can help translate into a ton of wins. So here you'll see the 30 power pre-nerf Red Skull, but it's still not going to be big enough. We can Shang-Chi it. Well, I guess it is big enough that we can Shang-Chi it, and that is all that we need. So my opponent is going to wind up retreating. Here's another game, slightly similar concept, though also slightly different. This one's also got some weird things going on with Titania, which my opponent and I pass back and forth a little bit in expansion. But my opponent winds up ending with the Titania and then a totally full location. They do have Sunspot to continue to add power to the expansion, but they won't be able to still play cards there. And then on turn 4, I get to play Dr. Octopus. So I'll be able to fill up 2 of my opponent's locations, and that will only leave 1 location for them to play to, which means that I know exactly where I need to fire off my Shang-Chi on the final turn, as you'll see. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit here just to see what my opponent plays, and we can see they played a Shuri for the turn, and then Dr. Octopus drags out the rest of their hand. So it's not going to take too much more power to win in Olympia, and we'll be able to Shang-Chi whatever my opponent happens to throw into X-Mansion. Now we also happen to have Daredevil Sight this turn, and my opponent, wanting to play around Shang-Chi, decides to just not play anything this turn. That way, I will have priority, hopefully, going into the final turn, which will make it impossible for me to Shang-Chi. So this turn, they're just sinking all of their power into Sunspot, and their plan is to finish off the game potentially with like She-Hulk plus something else. We did drag a bunch of cards out of their hand, so maybe they don't have that many great options, but whatever they play this turn is going to not have any abilities and come down with double the power because it's Shuri'd and it is zeroed out. So they definitely have a strong potential to play something really powerful here, but they're instead just going to play nothing into my Daredevil Sight, which now opens up the door for me to just Professor X them, take the X-Mansion. Next turn, they will just have to continue to add power into Sunspot, and we can probably steal Olympia just by playing America. That's what we'll do. Off the top of my deck, I was like, we don't actually have anything that we can play there just yet, but next turn we'll draw America, and with my opponent unable to play, now locked fully out of the game with Professor X, we will be able to take the win. That's gonna be it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'm No Lex Given. Peace.